Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Fallout 4. Where last time, we put together a pretty damn effective military force, I would say. Meaning the gunners have now been kicked out of my settlement, so, okay. It's probably time to strike back a bit, and hit some of theirs in return.
With our troops holding the exterior, the gunners here are trapped with no means of escape and no hope of reinforcements. We should be cautious.
Okay, seriously, I cannot remember if those traps were in the original or not, because it has been a long time since I've been here. Still, bare minimum, no... Right, you can't shoot out that light. And also, we've got trouble. Okay, one silent shot to the head to take you out. Still caution, not danger. And yeah, they're basic conscripts. For now, at least, we can just use. Never mind, they've also got robots, so okay. Combat rifle, probably a good, blend of power, range, accuracy, etc. This is overkill for a gunner, and right, you're looking manageable for the time being, especially with lovely sneak attacks. So no, assuming you're alive. If you're not awake yet, yeah, you just can't damage gun turrets, though. Right, I feel like you're awake now and they're starting to come in this direction. Still, bare minimum, most of them doable. So okay, just take you out. Right, I'm guessing, like every other gunner location we've run into so far, this is going to be, a lot nastier than the base game stuff. Like, yeah, the gunner encampments that are tied to Sim Settlements 2, they're not kidding around. Okay. Base level. Obviously, reactors, etc., etc. Watch out for a handful more gunners. I think, yeah, these guys seem pretty low level. I could deal with going over to a deliverer just for the time being. And also, oh, buddy. I would not be right there. You're right next to the reactor that seems to be spitting out electricity on occasion. So okay, just a mosey past. A dead vault dwellers 2. Marvelous. Yeah, this entire vaults thing was something to do with people who had issues with drugs being put in an environment where there were no drugs, but then suddenly there were drugs and everything went a bit bad, if I'm recalling correctly. Here we go, they just stumbled across some drugs, jet and buff out and whatnot, that they discovered and dug up, but obviously, it was a vault experiment. And then everything went to hell. Okay, first floor, we've got a research, but a master-locked terminal, so okay. We could skip to the end, but need to find, a password or be good at hacking. I am not good at hacking. And again, he did say, Overseer's room. So alright. Mosey in the direction of the Overseer. Clinic keys, that's a dead end. Yeah, that's a dead end. So, okay. Mosey through here, but I'm guessing there's going to be more keys as need to be found yet. Okay. Surprisingly, no. Overseer's office just, appears to be open.
This appears to be the command room. Conduct a thorough search for any intel. We must identify where the gunners are housing communications.
Alright, well we found the right room at least, so I have a bit of a poke around, probably a terminal, so, okay, VaultNet terminal, can't get in there, but basic terminal, that'll do as a starting point. Okay, just notes pertaining to, the whole drug thing, but bare minimum, we can open, yeah, facilities, and one unintelligible letter. So, okay. This might be a cipher, potentially given a Lamont at the bottom. That's the current leader of the gunners, so, right. This is definitely some form of cipher. And it's not just changing letters around or something, because, yeah, there's way too many apostrophes going on here.
If I may, I would like to examine that. I recognize this sequence. It's an old pre-war cipher, used for encrypting internal comms. Evidently, the gunners didn't expect anyone else to know it. These papers speak of a strategy for using stingrays to maintain pressure on us, distracting us, while they search for some sort of technology in the Commonwealth. The gunners also appear to be in a hurry to accomplish this before we discover a vulnerability that they aim to exploit.
Okay. So yeah, that's not too surprising. Brotherhood came to Boston trying to find, exciting, sexy technology. Institute is right here, a hub of exciting, sexy technology. Yeah, kinda makes sense, though vulnerability, you say?
The details are vague, although I believe they have not yet found a way to take advantage of this vulnerability. If that is indeed the case, then it is all the more essential that we destroy their Stingray operations before the Gunners can exploit this flaw.
Okay, so, right. We know that's the plan, but we kinda knew that was the plan already. What we really need is, information about where the cooking fueling stations are.
Judging by this map, and the assumed computing power required to run encrypted communications to Stingrays, our next objective is likely in the lower level, near the generators.
Alright, a server room, so we're not done here yet. That was intelligence, but they're actually running the entire operation from here, potentially. Well, okay, generators, we already dealt with. Those are just literally downstairs. So, down we go, back to the area we already dealt with. Here we go. One door, but need an ID card. And apparently I've got, a key card. I'm not sure where I got that from, or whether I just swiped a random card, but I could explode the door, or you know what? Maybe ask Salvador to do this. He seems like a professional who's familiar with the gunner process.
It is logical that the Gunners triggered an emergency lockdown to slow us down. It should be a simple matter of overriding it to allow us through. Emergency lockdown protocols have been lifted. Please proceed.
Okay, basically, if the option's available, ask Salvador to assist. He's very good at his job. And once again, more notes, which I'm guessing are nonsense to me, but would make a lot of sense to Salvador.
It appears they've taken more care in encrypting these documents. Taken together with the intel we've already recovered, we may be able to uncover the last of the Stingray operations. Vault 95 is secure. All objectives accomplished. If there are any remaining Gunners, our troops will conduct a final sweep. Good work today, Chief. I will meet you back at HQ to debrief.
Alright, job cooking done. Though okay, while I'm cooking here, can't help but notice, might be a good opportunity to help myself to a handful of grenades and whatnot. Lovely. And I'm pretty sure I just heard a legendary gunner somewhere, so hang about, buddy. You can be number 3, actually, just so Gunner Fu gets the highest benefit. And down you go. I love shooting the body out from under their head. That's just delightful. So, okay, buddy, let's see what you've got for me. And a frigid sledgehammer. Very cocking, amusing game. And then finally to the detox room, where, yes, in a theory, Kate would want to be taken, though, okay, what I have been doing is, yes, hoovering up every last bit of ammo. Because now I know all this trash could just be, donated to the war effort, and converted straight into army assaults and whatnot. Still, back outside, and yes, 2 things of note. 1, the Gunners seem to be aware of some way they're planning to attack us, a weakness we haven't determined yet, and 2, there's something else they want here. And seriously, there's no shortage of options for what it could be, like say, the beryllium agitator that the Institute and Brotherhood both want, or maybe something they want to steal from the Institute or the Brotherhood, so, yeah, it's hard to say precisely what it is they could be looking for. For the time being, though, right, mosey on home, let's see what Salvador could get out of all of those messages. But yeah, here we go, back at base. I have been, thinking about this a bit. Because it's not just ammo the game wants. It's also asking for, guns or armor, as well as cocking cans. So sure, give them a giant pile of, ammo, spare guns, etc. But what about drugs? I'm like a never-using cocking buff out. This is just taking up inventory space, so give them, 20 of that and whatnot. And giant piles of Medex, Mentats, Radex, Radaway, and especially Stimpaks. I am swimming in Stimpaks. I mean, that's got to help too, right? Oh yeah, chems just went up hugely right there. That was about 190. Now it's 285. So, right, just dumping drugs and stim packs makes a huge difference. Meanwhile, the guns went up from 90 to 100. So, each gun's maybe worth about 5 or something. That's a bit difficult to, you know, boost. Okay. I'm starting to see how, yes, we could just manipulate these numbers just by dumping our own stuff in the box. Lovely. And while I'm at base, yeah, something I should have done a long time ago, get muffled on my legs and, yeah, deep-pocketed, stabilized, padded, etc. on various bits of armor. Like, no reason to be leaving those benefits on the table. Anyway, bright new day, I say. I think it might actually be somehow starting to rain, in fact. Oh yeah, bright new day didn't last very long. It's definitely starting to rain. Back to the headquarters. Let's go have a chat with Salvador. Okay, but by the looks of it, yes, not just Salvador, in fact. We've got Lupe, we've got, I'm pretty sure I see Cassandra around the back, so, okay. I'm guessing, you know, several people have got grievances or something.
Ah. Welcome home. I was hoping to address something rather urgent. Namely, the uptick in injuries sustained since we've started going on the offensive against the gunners.
Injuries and casualties are unavoidable. If we are to succeed in pushing back against the gunners, we cannot let this slow our pushback.
Naturally. However, if you're going to keep the pressure up, you'll need to keep everyone on their feet. There's no rushing recovery. An injured soldier will only be a liability. First off, we have to deal with the injuries sustained in the last skirmish. Left alone, they'll heal in time, but time is a luxury even under the best of circumstances. Most of the injured are in bad enough condition that they can't be transported to HQ. They'll have to get treatment and recover at their outposts. By your leave, I can take a trip out and take care of the wounded this time around. In the future, you may want to ensure that outposts have their own doctors. It also wouldn't hurt to have field medics stationed there. They'll follow your assault teams and patch the wounded on the spot. Keep injuries from becoming critical.
Okay, so yeah, right now we could say people are warriors or guards or whatnot. I'm guessing this is going to be a new assignment we can give them.
What's the difference?
Station doctors will be able to speed up recovery of anyone who gets injured in the field. Field medics, however, are specially trained to stay close to combat and perform first aid. Speed of treatments should never be underestimated. Having a proficient field medic will lighten the burden on your hospitals and cut down on lasting injuries. Soldiers are your most valuable asset in this conflict, so do keep an eye on them.
Gee, Cassandra. I didn't expect you to say something so cold.
Did that sound callous? I just find it best to focus on the big picture and count the dead once the conflict is over.
I have to agree with that stance, but you seem distressed by it, Lupe.
It's not... Well, I guess it's just hard to wrap my head around. You two talk like death is just expected. I mean, I know it's going to happen. I just...
Not coming to terms with war right away is nothing to feel troubled about, dear. Now, didn't you have something to tell our chief?
Ah, right. Well, you know those places you've attacked and had taken over? I mean, the smaller ones that we can't really settle or use as an outpost. So I was thinking, we can send out teams of scavengers to pick clean any battlefield. You know, grab anything off the fallen enemies and any supplies that are there.
I do enjoy how Lupe is so not entirely at ease with this war we're fighting right now. It's a lovely thing about her. So, okay. Martial building class of battlefield scavengers. So, right. Within a certain area, they can, like, you know, start scavenging the dead and bringing it back. So, that's pretty much precisely what I was just doing. You know, gathering up the ammo, dumping it in the box. Just now we can automate it.
My next priority will be to decode all the intel we've acquired from raiding gunner strongholds. It is my expectation that I can pinpoint the last site supporting their Stingray operations.
Now that you mention it, there is a location nearby that might be worth securing. Heaven knows how quickly we're going through our medical supplies.
And scrap. Honestly, sometimes it scares me how quickly we're going through supplies. But I do know a place where we can get more. Maybe we should do that? While we wait?
Both are good suggestions. I will need at least a day to decode the intel regardless. Return then.
And there we go. With that done, internal affairs is complete with a level up too. And obviously, gun nut 3, so every 4th target is a critical hit. Not just way more powerful, but also a guaranteed hit. So, against, big crowds of gunners, gun fu is gonna be amazing. And meanwhile, okay, you want new supplies, like, new, what's even the right word for these things? Not like outposts, like locations we just sort of hold and scavenge from anyway, so, right, Milton in one direction, Scrap Palace the other. Both are really nearby, and I'm guessing, yeah, that's going to be like a general supplies, and Milton, that's going to keep the chems rolling in. So okay, those tiny local objectives are just to, bulk up the war effort, make sure it's all... Hang on. Hang on. We've got Rust Devils round here. Literally right behind me. Sorry, I must have walked right past you. My mistake, buddy. My mistake. So presumably, do I just, look at the door? There we go. Potential target. Beautiful.
Hey there. A letter for you.
Okay, that's... Wait, what the cock? Well, okay, things are getting weird in a hurry, which is, 1, Jake, what are you doing out here? 2, who are you? And 3, when you say a letter from Paul, Paul died so long ago. Your presence is requested to say goodbye to a friend. Holy Mission Congregation, Paul. Okay, seriously, what the cock is going on here? Why is the letter signed from Paul? That's weird. Okay, we're going to check out what's going on and why necromancers have brought Paul back from the dead in just a second. But before then, right. One flare up in the sky. Hopefully someone will, just show up to secure Milton and whatnot. Here we go. A starter to hold Milton General Hospital. Though, okay, when you say hold... Hold against who? Okay, my entire army's shown up. That's great. Some of you might need to be, reassigned as guards and whatnot. If we, summoned enemies by all... Hang on. Right! Guys, I may have just created some trouble, actually, and they are all cocking warlords. So, oh dear. Okay. 1. And then, yes, you could just be... a crit in the head, and then all of a sudden, they become, crits all round. Then they can't miss. So in which case, that's all absolutely fine. So 1, then crits. So that's going to do good damage to you. Hopefully splash damage too. Then the others are now guaranteed crits. So these now can't, not hit. Though I should just start, tossing grenades, basically. Just, toss grenades. I feel like if we just toss grenades in that direction... That's gonna do the work, okay? Grenades are stupidly strong also, John. Shoot the grenades. Mid-air. That works well too, so just take you out. And oh, blimey, hang on. They're starting to advance now. They're starting to... Uh-oh. There may also be more trouble nearby. Where the cock did you come from, precisely? Okay, John. Just straight in the head, please. Straight in the head. Still, this range, they're not doing that much to me. We can knock them over, though. Yeah, I can just use my knocking over abilities, which is pretty good, because my scope weapons just knock everything to the ground, which is really, really good for just, stopping them doing that much to me. So take out you as well. Okay. So these missions are going to be, sometimes a bit nastier than you might expect, for the simple reason, yes, they generate tough assaults. So, okay. Taking some light fire for now. I see you over there, buddy. We'll just focus on you, and I suspect there may be suiciders as well. Gotcha. So, okay. Focus on you. Just knock you down once you're on the ground. Turn your attention to, yes, someone else, if we can. You are down and good, and blimey, these guys are... They're tanky. Oh, also apparently reinforcements are coming in from Spectacle Cocking Island of all places. How they got over here, I don't know. They must be very good at swimming. Or we've got like a functional boat or something now. But okay, seriously, there are a lot of enemies here. And they are very, very, very cocking tanky, though I think we've almost cocking got their number at this point. So, last handful need to go down, buddy. Just take you out. I'm going to have so many injuries out of this, like... Okay, John, maybe, like, you know, go and do that thing the game was just saying, where you, like, you know, have field medics, because this is going to have been a very, very cocky, costly assault. Okay, so we got ourselves a, yes, chems, a water, food, etc. We killed 20 enemies, but, right, 7 of mine are injured, and 2 are cocky dead as well. That is no good at all. Oh yeah, we have got so many people looking not happy about life. And as a temporary solution, yeah, I can literally spend cams to, you know, treat them myself right now. Which is a terrible idea, because I have got no medical training.
Damn it! It's broken.
I like how I literally just clicked, you know, heal him, and then straight afterwards, he fell over and started yelling, damn it, it's broken. That's delightful. As I say, 0 medical training. Says it on my character sheet and everything. Okay, and bare minimum, yeah. I found my 2 dead, and neither of them were, like, you know, important. Which I know is, like, you know, a mean thing to say. We're not going to say that, like, at their funerals or anything. But what I mean is, they're not the people who had, like, armor and the good legendary weapons or anything. Okay, bare minimum, back at base, yes. By the looksy of it... This is a surgeon stage belonging to the type of field medics, so we've definitely got, like, some medicine going on at the marina. In terms of field medics, though, okay. I see that, yes, with soldier management, I can change their loadout in, like, the armory settings, but I'm not seeing field medic. But then this guy's only a basic level 1, he's not seen much combat yet, so, okay, it's possible, yeah, we need higher level experienced troops before we can get field medics in play. For the time being, yeah, we've got medical facilities right here, and I can, like, you know, just go around providing first aid to anyone that gets knocked down myself. So, that'll do for now, I guess. Okay, next up, let's go and investigate Zombie Pool, damn it. Holy Mission Congregation, just past Backstreet Apparel. What the cock is going on here? Because, yeah, Paul was kidnapped from Red Rocket or Sanctuary, I believe. He was then taken nearby to the Boston Police rationing site. We found his corpse up here. That's where we found Cola. And I thought we'd, like, buried him there. No, seriously, what is going on? Okay. In we go. Keep the guns out. I feel like I'm being led into a trap right now. Okay. So, Diamond City Security. Random Greeter. Cola's here. Teresa's here. And young Paula's here. Okay, I think possibly the stress of dealing with this gunner situation has, got to me a bit.
Welcome. Take this. And you should speak with Paul. He's expecting you.
What the actual cock? In loving memory of old Paul Jones, 2178 to 2287. Scavving in the great beyond now. So, okay, this is all very peculiar. Okay, what's going on here?
Oh, hello there. Heard a lot about you. Good to finally put a face to the name.
Okay, so Paul's here and doesn't seem to recognize me. So, Paul, what's going on?
It's a funeral. You know, saying goodbye to those who passed. Oh, by the way, I'm Paul. Young Paul. Old Paul's son. I know it's a tad confounding. When it came to naming things, my father always did lack imagination. Anywho, I'm grateful that you could make it to Paul's funeral. And I know you must be busy, what with being in the middle of a war and all. But my old man deserves a proper send-off. So it means a lot to have you here. You should know my father thought very highly of you. He'd be happy that you came to say goodbye.
Right, so possibly I'm not going bananas and imagining this, and this would also explain where Jake was going a second ago. He was heading to the funeral too, so... right, this is all fascinating.
We all know why we're here. Old Paul is dead, so it's time for all of us to say our final goodbyes. But that's no reason for us to start blubbing. My dad led a very long, and very full life. Paul did a lot of things, met a lot of people. And if you'll indulge me for a moment, I'd like to tell you a bit about who he was. Paul was born in Diamond City about 100 years ago. That's right.
As best to my reckoning, my father was at least 109 when he passed.
There's a reason everyone called him Old Paul. Now, he never shared the secret to his longevity, but if you ask me, he was down to his clean living and good nature. Life was good for Paul in Diamond City. He built a thriving gunsmithing business, met his future wife, Margaret, and even began raising a son. But as many of us know, there are synthetic robots out there who have been known to replace those closest to you. While I was still an infant, who we thought to be my mother made an attempt on my life. Paul stopped her with one of his very own guns. Of course, it wasn't really my mother, but one of those synthetic people. Still, the experience, it greatly affected my father. He never was the same. After my mother's untimely loss, Paul didn't do much sulking. Instead, he sold his business and started a shelter for those suffering similar hardships. But such things cost more caps than you might think. And so my father turned to banditry, the first of our many future disagreements.
Now, despite becoming a raider, Paul was still Paul. He'd only go after those he thought wouldn't miss the caps, and did his utmost to not hurt anyone.
And even though his illicit activities did bring in the needed funds, my father's heart just wasn't in it. And so he left raiding behind. And instead of stealing, he turned to scavenging. And as it turned out, Paul was a natural. It became his new passion, one that helped him do a lot of good. Paul's life work helped to finance not only the shelter, but a school as well. He also donated generously to the Minutemen and what would become the Nightingales. My dad was proud to see the Commonwealth slowly better itself. However, time makes fools of us all, and old age had finally started to take its toll on my father. Old Paul retired from full-time work, but ever the proactive sort, he refused to sit still. Barely a year living with me and my family, and he was back in the Commonwealth, traveling between settlements and offering what help he could, which I believe is how he met a particular individual who I'd like to invite to say a few words. Please, if you'd just like to come up here.
Alright, so now it's my turn to contribute, though I'll admit, some of that was news to me. I didn't know any of that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you met Paul when he joined up with one of your settlements, right? I think we might all be curious as to what your first impressions of old Paul were exactly.
I was impressed, he was annoying, he seemed to care. Okay, don't say annoying. It's a funeral, don't say that. So, yes, he seemed to, care. Though, really, we should get Stodge up here. Like, him and Stodge seemed to really get on after a while.
He seemed to genuinely care about the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth and its people. Yup, that was my dad, all right. Going off the letters he sent me, Paul did his best to help the folks figure out your ASAM doodads. Also helped some of yours build their own town. What's more, the cantankerous old coot even tried his hand at being mayor, I hear. But the group called the Gunners took exception to your efforts. Ended up attacking the town Paul helped build. Took him prisoner.
Yes, indeed. He was kidnapped and shot, and I was very angry about it. But don't worry, I murdered the guy that did it, so it's all fine.
He tried to do the right thing, but it was too late. And I couldn't save him.
I don't think anyone blames you, and I know my dad wouldn't for sure. But ever true to who he was, Paul didn't take his detainment lying down, defiant to the end, unafraid to speak out. He died the same way he lived, on his own terms, doing what he thought right.
Alright, he was a casualty, he was brave, a pathetic death, and didn't say goodbye. Okay, depending on, like, intonation and whatnot, didn't say goodbye could be a very appropriate or inappropriate thing to say. I'm just going to keep it, you know, positive. He was brave, damn it.
It took a lot of courage.
That's very true. Despite all appearances, Paul was no fool. He knew the outcome, but acted anyway. And that is how my father met his end. But I ask that we don't remember him only for how he died, but for how he lived. Paul was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a generous spirit who helped strangers without a second thought. Some of his last acts were helping bring about better lives for others. Guided by the man now standing beside me and those that follow him.
Okay, well this is just bloody lovely, isn't it?
I'm gonna miss him.
Thank you for sharing your words. Well, that's the service over with. Thank you for coming, everyone. Feel free to leave or stick around. Up to you. As for you, I'll be honest, when I sent your invite, I wasn't sure what kind of person would show up. But hearing how you felt about my dad, well, let's say I'm glad you were around during Paul's last days. Anywho, my father left behind some personal effects, including a holotape with your name on it. So here, take it with my blessing.
Alright, and we might have a final word from Paul himself too.
Well, looks like I finally kicked the bucket. Sure took me long enough. I imagine I'm all sealed up in some casket by now. Probably had a bunch of folks I knew say the usual pleasantries. Sounds kinda nice, actually. Say, did my son Paul make it to my funeral? No, he didn't approve of me gallivanting about the Commonwealth, but, well, I hope he made it. Anywho, I'm sure you had your fill of me rambling away, even back before I was worm food, so I'll just get straight to the point. You, your settlements, and all the people you've gathered, you're the future of the Commonwealth. And just because I'm mortally challenged is no reason for me to stop pulling my weight and helping you guys out. So to that end, find the enclosed coordinates that'll lead you to a large cache of supplies I've been stockpiling for, well, for many years now. It was my intent that the stockpile be used in the event of my death to provide for those that relied on me. However, it's you that the people need to rely on now. Take the supplies. Use them to do some good in the wealth. I know I can trust you with this. Well, that was all. You better get going. I'm sure you've got a lot of work to do. As for me, well, if you ever need me, I'm sure you'll be able to track me down. I may not be able to offer any advice, but I'll do my best to listen. Bye, for now.
Okay, well that was just bloody lovely. And we even get new special pool-themed buildings if we want. And okay, the supplies in question are located at Breakup Banks, nearby to, yeah, Green Top and the Slog, etc, etc. So, oh, go on then, why not? Oh, and even better, Cola can now, you know, move around a bit if I want her to. So, you know what, you can stay at the headquarters, Cola, that's fine. Though I will say, hang about. Hang about, we've got cocking gunners en route, so, okay. All we're going to do is, yes, take out all of you. How many are we talking about here? Because, yeah, if we could get 1, and then 2, and then There's also a dog. And a lieutenant. Sure, why not? You've mutated. You are all on the move. So, okay, that didn't work out as I was planning. But that's okay. Crit in the head for you, my friend. Crit in the head for you. Leveling up too. Marvelous. So down you go. And, oh yeah, very literally, down you go. In fact, one more finishes you off. Beautiful. So, right, just... Okay, John, check the corpse and get the cock out of dodge before, you know, the thingy explodes. And... Duelist Switchblade. Hilarious game. Okay, so, you know, the good streak is most definitely over. Alright. Get to the high ground. See what else we've got. So, yeah, basic and mutant hounds, etc., etc. Maybe, yeah, just wait till we've got a good shot at various bits and pieces. That's a good 80. That's a good 70 and whatnot. Then we've got you. And then we can start just shooting you in the head over and over again. So, right. You go down nice and easy, my friend. If we get lucky, we can hit everything else too. Yep, and now, just a crit, and a more cocky crit. Never mind, did not need a more cocky crit. Turns out you're already dead. This better be cocking worth it, because I have, you know, taken quite a journey to... You know what? Never mind. That's a really, really good amount of ammunition, actually. Most of this we could just donate straight to the war effort, especially, like, 1,000 5mm rounds. That's not bad at all, in fact. Okay, never mind. We're only just getting started. There's a lot in here. Including a lot of cocky guns, though. Okay, most of this we cannot afford to get back to base in terms of weight, damn it. Okay, it is really nice, though, that, yes, you know, the final thing Paul leaves you is actually a really big, significant contribution to the war effort. That's kind of cool, actually. And we're gonna phone maxed out. Now will probably be a good time to take better crits up to max. Bloody hell, ammo just jumped to nearly 4,000, so... right. I'd say, you know, Paul just made a very significant contribution to the war effort there. So how about, in his honour, we put some of, you know, that ammo to good cocking use? After all, Lupe was saying she wants us to lock down the Scrap Palace. Though given what happened at Milton, I'm quite frankly terrified as to what might show up to defend the place. Though, oh, hang on. Speaking of which, there's still some brotherhoods round here, aren't there? So, right, we just need to take you out, and no, not you. You guys are fine, we're chill. Right, you guys just, you know, hang out here for a second. I might need you in a moment. Because, yeah, for the time being, Scrap Palace is nice and empty. But generally, Scrap Palace means mutants. Right, mark a location. Just find, like, you know, any door or anything. A door, that will do. There we go. Potential target. Over to flare gun. And here we flipping go. So, right, join up to our troops and move on in. Though, actually, you know what? It is saying assault, not defense. So, okay, wipe out Scrap Palace and... right, gunners on this occasion. That is nowhere near as bad as Endless Warlords. Good. We're already over to kill the remaining defenders. Okay, for some reason, yes, that was, wow. 2 gunners. That was your lot. So, okay, Milton was a nightmare. That was not so much. Still, I would say, having secured old Paul's legacy and used it to, you know, take over some brand new locations and whatnot, how about we call it a part there? But next time, right, it sounds like, yes, we need to check in with Salvador to get the final location for the Stingray refueling depots. And once that's done, the threat of being bombed has been eliminated, which, you know, could be a pretty major bloody turning point in the war between us and the Gunners. So hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Fallout 4. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Ah, we have got a gate key here, and then we have got... I've made a mistake, I've made a mistake, I've made a mistake, I've made a mistake! This is going to take all of my skill and cunning as a hunter to sort out... Die, you mooing bastards! Die! Die! Go away. Go away, nobody likes you. That was a good idea till it wasn't.